Hello and welcome. Before we begin our journey tonight, I'd like to ask you something gentle. Down in the comments, share where you are listening from and what time of day it is for you. Some may be here as night wraps softly around them. Others may be listening in the quiet of morning or in the stillness of an afternoon pause. Imagine all of us scattered across continents, yet connected in this single moment of listening. And if you find comfort here, I invite you to stay with us on the journeys ahead so that each new exploration of science and wonder finds you again. Now let us turn to Earth, our vast blue home. From far above it seems so simple, a glowing marble of ocean and cloud turning slowly against the blackness of space. Yet within that beauty lies depth beyond measure and stories older than time as we know it. Every wave, every mountain, every breath of air carries a fragment of the planet's long memory. To settle into that thought is to feel a sense of calm. We are part of something immense, something that endures. Earth is a water planet. More than 70% of its surface is ocean, a restless expanse that shapes weather, life, and even the sound of the world. The very water you sip today may have passed through countless forms, drifting as mist, frozen as ice, coursing through rivers, or filling ancient seas. Scientists tell us some of these molecules predate the sun itself, older than the solar system, carried here from interstellar space. To drink a glass of water is to touch the ancient fabric of creation. The air above us feels invisible, yet it is alive with layers and motion. It swirls in patterns vast and delicate, carrying warmth from the equator toward the poles, trading cold winds back in return. Within a single breath, you draw in molecules that may have drifted from far-off forests, deserts, or seas. Perhaps you are inhaling air once exhaled by a whale at the surface of the Pacific, or by a tree in the Amazon canopy. Every inhale binds us to the whole of Earth, a reminder that the sky belongs to no one and yet embraces us all. Beneath our feet, the ground may feel still, but it is always in motion. The crust of the Earth rests on giant plates that drift at the pace of fingernails growing. Over ages, these movements tear continents apart and crash them back together. Mountains rise, valleys sink, oceans open and close. In the Himalayas, peaks thrust higher every year, the echo of ancient collisions still unfolding. Even the quiet hill in your hometown may once have been the bottom of a sea or the edge of a vanished supercontinent. The planet is never finished. It is always becoming, and then there is the hum. Earth itself vibrates with a sound too low for our ears, a constant background resonance. Scientists have traced it to the oceans, their endless waves pressing against the seafloor, echoing through the crust in subtle rhythms. Imagine if you could hear it. A soft, deep note, steady as a heartbeat, playing beneath every moment of your life. Whether we listen or not, the song continues, humming softly into the dark. Life clings to every edge of this world. From the tallest mountain ridges to the deepest ocean trenches, species thrive in ways both fragile and fierce. In deserts, seeds wait decades for rain, only to burst into color and fragrance when the clouds arrive. In forests, leaves whisper with winds older than memory. Even in the Arctic night, lichens and moss persist beneath the snow, tiny green signals of endurance. To walk anywhere on this planet is to wander through a vast community of lives, each connected, each resilient. We too are part of this web. The food we eat grows in soil built by centuries of decay and renewal, enriched by organisms too small to see. The rivers that carry us water were carved by glaciers and rains that fell before history began. The air filling our lungs is the breath of plants exchanged in an endless cycle of giving and taking. Though we often imagine ourselves apart from Earth, we are woven into its rhythms as tightly as the tides or the winds. So, before we move deeper into the calming facts ahead, pause with this thought. Earth is not simply a backdrop for our lives. It is alive in motion and carrying us with it. The oceans, the air, the land, and the life within it are all threads in the same fabric. Tonight, as you listen, you share this moment not only with others across the world, but with the planet itself, our ancient, enduring home. The hidden heartbeat, Earth's core and forces within. Beneath the ground we walk on lies a world of heat, pressure, and restless energy. The solid surface of continents and seas is only a thin crust like the skin of a fruit. Just below it lies the mantle, a realm of molten rock that flows slowly over millennia, driving the drift of continents and the birth of mountains. Even deeper, the Earth holds its secret heart, a core of iron and nickel, both solid at the very center and liquid in the layers around it. This hidden sphere spins within us, unseen but essential, shaping the very conditions that allow life to exist. One of its greatest gifts is the magnetic field. As molten metal churns in the outer core, it generates invisible lines of force that stretch far into space. This magnetic shield deflects charged particles streaming from the sun, protecting our atmosphere from being stripped away. Without it, Earth might resemble Mars, barren, exposed, a world of silence. Instead, our magnetic field flickers in beauty across the poles, painting auroras in shifting curtains of green and purple, as though the planet itself were glowing in defense of life. The movements of the mantle reach us through earthquakes. When plates grind or collide, the surface trembles with sudden violence. Yet these quakes are not only destruction, they are also signals of renewal. Mountains rise where plates collide, rift valleys open where they pull apart, a new crust forms from molten rock at mid-ocean ridges. Over millions of years, earthquakes and volcanoes continually reshape the face of Earth. The ground may seem steady beneath your feet, but it is a living surface, always shifting, always breathing. Volcanoes reveal the fiery heart most vividly. Across the globe, they pierce the crust with fountains of lava, plumes of ash, and rivers of molten stone. Some eruptions are gentle, forming new islands where none existed before. Others are cataclysmic, reshaping climates and darkening skies. Yet out of their chaos comes creation. Volcanic soils are among the most fertile on Earth, supporting forests, farms, and civilizations. To stand at the rim of a volcano is to glimpse the planet's heartbeat. Ancient energy rising, destructive yet creative, terrifying yet life-giving. Even where no eruption rages, the core's energy shapes life above. Geysers erupt in rhythmic bursts. Hot springs steam with mineral-rich water. Entire ecosystems thrive in geothermal warmth, from Iceland's icy landscapes to the depths of Yellowstone. Bacteria live in boiling pools, turning scalding extremes into vibrant oases of color. These hidden gifts remind us that Earth's heat is not only a force of violence, but also a cradle for strange and unexpected forms of life. And then there is time itself, written in stone. Deep within layers of rock lie records of ancient seas, vanished forests, and lost creatures. Fossils, minerals, and crystals all whisper stories of heat and pressure, of slow transformation over spans longer than imagination. Every pebble, every cliff, every mountain range is part of a deeper heartbeat, pulsing with energy and memory. The Earth's hidden core may never be seen by our eyes, yet it touches every part of our lives. It shields us, feeds us, shapes our landscapes, and hums beneath our existence. When we lie down to rest, the silent tremors of the mantle continue. When we wake, the magnetic field still dances invisibly overhead. The heartbeat of Earth never stops, a reminder that beneath stillness lies a restless, sustaining fire. Oceans without end. If Earth has a soul, it is in the oceans. Vast, deep, and unbroken, they cradle most of our planet's life and drive its rhythms. Covering more than 70% of the surface, they are the defining feature of the blue marble we see from space. Yet for all our ships and satellites, most of the ocean remains unexplored. its depths as mysterious as the farthest galaxies. Beneath the surface lies a world without sunlight, where pressure crushes and cold dominates. In the Mariana Trench, the deepest known place on Earth, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at sea level. Yet even there, strange creatures thrive, fish with translucent skin, shrimp-like forms glowing faintly in the dark, and microbes clinging to rocks in silent resilience. The ocean floor is not lifeless desert, but a strange alien world teeming with survivors. Above, the surface shifts with tides. Twice each day, the moon pulls the waters toward it, lifting whole coastlines in a rhythm that has continued for billions of years. Ancient organisms once learned to time their lives to these tides, emerging to feed or reproduce in sync with the moon. Even today, crabs, turtles, and countless fish follow this rhythm, proving that the moon's gentle tug still writes its will into life itself. Currents swirl like veins, carrying warmth and nutrients across the globe. The Gulf Stream, for example, brings tropical heat into the North Atlantic, softening winters in Europe. Without it, climates would shift dramatically, reshaping entire civilizations. The oceans regulate Earth's temperature, store carbon, and provide the very oxygen we breathe through the work of plankton, tiny organisms adrift in vast numbers. These invisible drifters produce at least half the oxygen in the atmosphere. Every breath we take owes itself to the quiet labor of creatures smaller than grains of sand. And then there are the sounds. Whales sing across entire oceans, their calls traveling for thousands of miles through saltwater's embrace. Some whale songs may last hours, woven with intricate patterns we still don't fully understand. To drift in the depths, surrounded by darkness, and hear such voices is to realize the ocean is not silent. It is alive with echoes, rhythms, and conversations. Even on shorelines, the ocean works wonders. Sand grains beneath your feet may have traveled across continents, worn smooth by rivers and tides before arriving at your beach. Seashells whisper of the lives that built them, once fragile creatures whose remains now decorate the land. The smell of salt in the air carries not only minerals but also a memory of deep time, of waters older than humanity itself. The ocean is both vast and intimate. It shapes global systems yet touches each of us in daily life. In every sip of water, every cloud above, every breath of oxygen lies its hidden influence. To gaze at the horizon is to see no end, only the reminder that Earth's greatest mysteries lie beneath the waves, waiting patiently in the dark. Skis above. Us, lift your eyes from the oceans and you enter another boundless realm. The atmosphere. Though thinner than an apple's skin compared to Earth's size, it is our shield, our weather, our canvas of light. The air is layered like a giant staircase. Closest to us is the troposphere, where clouds form and storms rage. Above it lies the stratosphere, home to the ozone that filters sunlight into colors safe for life. Higher still, the mesosphere burns up meteors, sprinkling shooting stars across night skies. And above all, the thermosphere shimmers with auroras, where particles from the sun collide with Earth's shield in curtains of green, pink, and violet. Winds move like rivers overhead. The jet streams, narrow bands of air racing around the globe, guide storms, shape seasons, and even affect the paths of migrating birds. A butterfly wing beat cannot change the weather, as the old saying suggests, but the atmosphere is indeed sensitive, able to ripple outward from the smallest shifts. Clouds, too, tell stories. Wispy cirrus clouds whisper of calm skies, while towering cumulonimbus rise like mountains, heralding thunder and lightning. Each raindrop forms around a single speck of dust or salt, invisible until countless drops fall together. The water you feel on your skin may once have drifted in air halfway around the planet before finding you. the skies carry hidden colors as well. At sunrise and sunset, the angle of light scatters shorter blue wavelengths, leaving behind the warm reds and oranges that paint horizons. This scattering is the same reason the daytime sky looks blue, a trick of light turned into daily beauty. Even at night, the sky glows faintly with air glow, a natural radiance from molecules high above, invisible until long exposure cameras reveal it. And storms, though they may frighten, are also gifts. Lightning splits molecules, creating nitrates that feed the soil. Thunder reminds us of power shared equally across sky and ground. Hurricanes, though destructive, redistribute heat across the planet, balancing temperatures between regions. Nature often wears violence, yet beneath it lies balance. When we look up, we see more than weather. We see the mirror of Earth itself. The sky is not a void, but a dynamic living system, dancing with light, color, and rhythm.
Every day it reshapes itself, and every night it reveals infinity.
To breathe is to touch it, to gaze is to enter it, and to dream is to rise within it. Forests of breath step into a forest, and the air itself feels different. Cooler, richer, alive, trees breathe in rhythm with the sky, trading carbon dioxide for oxygen in a cycle as old as life itself. They form vast lungs of the planet, storing carbon, shaping rainfall, and offering refuge to millions of species. Every tree is a world. Its roots weave into soil alive with fungi and microbes. Its trunk shelters insects, birds, and mammals. Its leaves stretch into the sky, capturing sunlight and turning it into life. In Amazonian rainforests, a single hectare may hold more than 400 species of trees, each playing its part in an orchestra of survival. But trees are not isolated. Beneath the ground, fungal threads connect them in what scientists call the wood wide web. Through these hidden networks, trees share nutrients, warn of pests, and even send carbon to younger or struggling neighbors. Forests are communities, not collections. To walk in them is to walk inside a conversation, though spoken in chemistry and silence. Forests also make rain. As trees release water vapor, it rises to form clouds that fall again as showers. In the Amazon, nearly half of the rainfall is recycled this way, a cycle sustained by the forest itself. Remove too many trees and even the rains falter. To protect forests is to protect the very skies. There is history here too. Some bristlecone pines are nearly 5,000 years old, older than human civilization as we know it. Their twisted trunks hold centuries of memory, each ring a record of drought, fire, and renewal. Giant sequoias in California rise taller than buildings, some weighing more than 100 blue whales combined. Beneath them you feel both small and eternal, a guest in their cathedral of time. And yet, forests are fragile. Fires, storms, and human axes can undo centuries in moments. But even in loss, forests teach resilience. New shoots rise from ash, seedlings find light where gaps open, and life begins again. A forest is not only shade and beauty, it is persistence, generation after generation, reaching for the sun. In every breath you take tonight, there is a trace of their gift.
Oxygen, born in the silent labor of leaves carried by winds across oceans, now filling your lungs.
Whether you sit in a city or countryside, you are breathing the work of forests. They are not distant, they are within you, sustaining your very life in this moment. At first glance, deserts may seem empty, stretches of sand, stone, and silence under an unforgiving sun. Yet within these landscapes lies a quiet richness, both in nature and in meaning. Deserts cover nearly 1/3 of Earth's land, making them far from rare. They are ancient places shaped by winds, rains that rarely fall, and the patient carving of time itself. The Sahara, the largest hot desert, spans more than 3 million square miles, an expanse so vast it could fit the United States within it. Yet it was not always barren. Fossilized whale bones lie hidden beneath its dunes, reminders of a time when it was an ocean. Petroglyphs carved thousands of years ago show giraffes and hippos, proof that once lush grasslands covered this region. Deserts hold not only sand but also memory, layers of climates long past. Life here adapts in remarkable ways. The fennec fox, with ears nearly as large as its head, releases heat through them to survive scorching days. The camel, often called the ship of the desert, stores not water in its hump, but fat, which can be broken down into both energy and hydration. Cacti swell with reserves of moisture, while their spines ward off thirsty animals. Even tiny beetles survive by collecting dew on their shells, drinking from droplets that form in the cool morning air. Each adaptation is an act of resilience, proving that survival thrives even in extremes. Not all deserts are hot.
Antarctica, covered in ice, is classified as the largest cold desert in the world.
Its dryness is so absolute that parts of it have not seen rain in millions of years. There, bacteria cling to life in microscopic films of moisture, showing that even the harshest deserts still harbor living secrets. Deserts are also landscapes of illusion. Heat, shimmering across sand, bends light into mirages, creating the illusion of water that vanishes upon approach. These visions have shaped myths and guided wanderers astray, turning the desert into a place where the line between reality and imagination blurs. Yet silence is perhaps their most defining feature. In many deserts, the absence of trees, rivers, and human noise creates a stillness unlike anywhere else on Earth. The sound of your own heartbeat becomes noticeable. The crunch of your footsteps echoes in vast emptiness. It is a silence both humbling and immense, a reminder of how small we are against the scale of nature. And despite their austerity, deserts play a vital role in Earth's systems. Winds from the Sahara carry dust across the Atlantic, fertilizing the Amazon rainforest with minerals. Without deserts, distant ecosystems might starve. Sand dunes shift and migrate, shaping coasts and influencing weather patterns far beyond their horizons. Deserts, though barren to the eye, are threads in the global tapestry of life. When night falls, deserts transform again. With no moisture to blur the skies, stars blaze in overwhelming clarity. The Milky Way spills across the horizon, and meteors streak brightly overhead. Some of the clearest views of the cosmos are found not in observatories, but in desert silence, where the universe seems close enough to touch. So while deserts may seem empty, they are anything but. They are records of oceans long gone, homes of creatures exquisitely adapted, sources of dust that nourishes jungles, and canvases for the night sky. To step into a desert is to step into stillness, and within that stillness lies both the harshness and the beauty of Earth itself. Frozen frontiers. At Earth's poles and mountaintops lie worlds of ice and snow, frozen frontiers that seem still, yet are alive in ways both subtle and profound. Glaciers creep forward inch by inch, carving valleys and fjords. Ice sheets cover entire continents, storing most of the planet's fresh water. Beneath these frozen surfaces lie secrets waiting patiently in silence. Antarctica holds nearly 70% of Earth's fresh water, locked in its colossal ice sheet. If all of it melted, global sea levels would rise by more than 200 feet, redrawing every coastline. Yet even in its frozen depths, life finds a way. Scientists drilling through miles of ice discovered hidden lakes, liquid and dark, where microbes have thrived untouched for millions of years. In these subglacial worlds, evolution continues in isolation, writing stories unseen anywhere else. The Arctic, meanwhile, is a realm of constant change. Unlike Antarctica's landmass, the Arctic Ocean freezes and thaws with the seasons, expanding in winter and shrinking in summer. Polar bears roam its flows, seals slip into its waters, and narwhals glide beneath its icy cover. Yet the Arctic is warming faster than almost any other region on Earth. The loss of its ice is reshaping not only local ecosystems, but also weather patterns around the globe. Glaciers, though seemingly eternal, are rivers of ice. They flow, crack, and surge, grinding mountains into valleys and scattering boulders in their wake. Some glaciers move so swiftly that they carry rocks the size of houses, embedding them miles away. The sound of a calving glacier, a thunderous crack, followed by the plunge of ice into the sea, is one of nature's most dramatic voices. Ice also holds memory. Each layer of snowfall compacted into ice over centuries preserves tiny bubbles of air. In these bubbles lie ancient atmospheres, chemical fingerprints of climates long gone. By studying ice cores, scientists read Earth's past like pages in a frozen book, tracing back hundreds of thousands of years. Within ice, the planet's history waits, clear and fragile. Even within the coldest extremes, life surprises us. Penguins huddle for warmth on Antarctic shores. Lichens cling to rocks, surviving on little more than sunlight and air. In Greenland, meltwater rivers carve channels through the ice, glowing an otherworldly blue. These frozen landscapes are not lifeless. They are alive in slow motion, whispering stories of resilience, and the beauty is unmatched. The northern lights shimmer above Arctic skies, reflecting in sheets of ice. Diamond dust, tiny ice crystals suspended in the air, glitters in halos around the sun. Mountains capped in snow glow pink and gold at sunrise. To witness these frozen frontiers is to feel Earth's extremes, harsh yet breathtaking, deadly yet deeply alive. The frozen world may seem remote, but its reach is everywhere. It governs sea levels, shapes climates, and reflects sunlight back into space, cooling the planet. Its silence is not absence but balance, a reminder that even in the coldest places, Earth breathes. Rivers of time. Rivers are often called lifelines, and with good reason. From the smallest stream to the mightiest current, they have carved landscapes, fed civilizations, and carried life across continents. Flowing water is time made visible, a journey from mountain to sea that reshapes everything in its path. The Nile, stretching over 4,000 miles, has been Egypt's heart for millennia, flooding predictably each year to nourish crops and sustain empires. The Amazon, wide enough in places that you cannot see one shore from the other, holds more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined. Yet even tiny brooks winding through forests are vital, sustaining insects, birds, and mammals that depend on their freshness. Rivers also carve the land. The Grand Canyon, with its vast depths and colored cliffs, is the patient work of the Colorado River, cutting stone grain by grain for millions of years. Rivers carry sediment from mountains to plains, building deltas where they meet the sea. These deltas, like those of the Ganges or Mississippi, become cradles of life, rich in nutrients, teeming with people, animals, and crops. But rivers are more than water. They are storytellers. Within their currents flow minerals eroded from ancient rocks, seeds carried from distant hills, and even fragments of human history. In the Danube, artifacts from Roman times lie buried in silt. In the Thames, old coins, pottery, and tools wash ashore, revealing glimpses of lives long gone. Rivers preserve as much as they erase, writing history in layers of sand. They are also sacred. Many cultures see rivers as divine, from the Ganges in India to the Jordan in the Middle East. Ceremonies, prayers, and myths surround them, recognizing their power to give and to take. To drink from a river is to join countless generations who have done the same. Even today, rivers pulse through modern life. They provide electricity through dams, irrigation for fields, and routes for trade. But they also remind us of balance. Too much damming, too much diversion, and they lose their vitality. A river thrives when it is free, when its flow is unbroken from source to sea. At night, rivers reflect the skies. Moonlight dances on ripples, stars shimmer in eddies, and the sound of flowing water becomes a lullaby. To sit beside a river is to feel time itself moving, carrying away the present into memory, carving the world even as it soothes the soul. Mountains that touch the sky. Mountains rise like frozen waves in Earth's crust, monuments to forces deep below. They are symbols of strength and endurance, but also of change, for every peak is the result of collisions, pressure, and time. The Himalayas, the tallest range, continue to rise each year as India pushes against Asia. Mount Everest, towering at 29,032 feet, is not fixed but still climbing, grain by grain, inch by inch. The Andes stretch along South America, dotted with volcanoes that connect the crust to the fiery mantle. The Rockies, the Alps, the Caucasus, each range holds its own character, shaped by tectonics and weather. Mountains are climates of their own. The air thins as you climb, temperatures drop, and ecosystems change rapidly. In a single day's hike, you might pass through forests, meadows, tundra, and finally icy slopes where little survives. This layering of habitats creates biodiversity hotspots where unique plants and animals thrive. Snow leopards in Asia, condors in South America, and mountain goats in North America all depend on these rugged realms. They are also water towers. Snowpack and glaciers atop mountains feed rivers below, sustaining billions of people. The Ganges, Yangtze, and Mekong all begin in the Himalayas. Without mountains, many great rivers and the civilizations they support would never exist. Mountains hold human history too. They have been seen as sacred places, dwelling spots of gods and homes of mystery. Ancient peoples built temples on their slopes. Pilgrims still climb them in devotion, seeking closeness to the divine. Even today, mountaineering is less about conquest than humility, standing small before immensity. Geologically, mountains reveal time. The Alps contain fossils of seashells, proving they once lay beneath ancient oceans. The rocks of the Appalachians are older than trees, remnants of vanished continents. To walk their ridges is to tread on pages of Earth's earliest stories. Yet mountains are fragile.
Avalanches, landslides, and erosion constantly reshape them.
Climate change melts their glaciers, threatening the waters below. What looks eternal is always in flux, slowly sculpted by wind, water, and time, and they inspire. From Japan's Mount Fuji to Africa's Kilimanjaro, mountains have shaped art, poetry, and imagination. Their peaks pierce the sky, reminding us of both our limits and our aspirations. To gaze at them is to feel awe. To climb them is to feel resilience. To live near them is to dwell in the presence of Earth's greatest monuments. The living soil beneath our feet lies a hidden world, as alive as forests or oceans. Soil, often dismissed as mere dirt, is in fact a bustling ecosystem of unimaginable complexity. In a single handful of healthy soil, there are more organisms than there are humans on Earth. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and tiny insects form webs of life that recycle nutrients, break down matter, and make plants possible. Without soil microbes, there would be no agriculture, no forests, no food chains as we know them. They transform fallen leaves into fertile ground, dead matter into new life. Soil is layered like a book. The topsoil, dark with organic matter, is the richest. Beneath it lie subsoils of clay, sand, or rock, each influencing how water moves and plants grow. Ancient soils, buried and preserved, hold records of past climates, revealing how landscapes once looked. In caves, sediments preserve pollen grains older than civilizations, carrying whispers of vanished forests. Earthworms tunnel through soil, aerating it and mixing nutrients. Termites build mounds that regulate temperature and moisture, creating microhabitats. Even ants play their part, carrying seeds that sprout in the chambers they abandon. Soil is not passive, it is dynamic, a living foundation for everything above. Humans have long recognized its value. The fertile crescent of Mesopotamia gave rise to the first cities because its soils were rich. The black soils of Ukraine, the Loess plains of China, and the river valleys of the Nile and Indus all became cradles of civilization. Where soil thrives, cultures flourish. Where it erodes, societies falter. Yet soil is fragile. It forms slowly, sometimes taking centuries for just an inch to develop. But it can be lost quickly through erosion, overuse, or pollution. Today, large parts of the world face soil degradation, threatening food supplies for billions. Protecting it is not only about farming, but about survival. And there is beauty hidden here too. Soil is home to glowing fungi, colorful minerals, and sparkling crystals. In tropical regions, termite mounds rise like towers, reshaping entire landscapes. In deserts, microbial crusts paint the ground with subtle shades of green, black, and red. Even the smell of soil after rain, the earthy scent called petrichor, comes from microbes releasing oils into the air, a fragrance tied deeply to memory. To recognize soil is to see the ground not as dirt, but as life. Every forest, every field, every city rests upon this quiet foundation. It is Earth's skin, thin and precious, holding the roots of the future in its hidden depths. Creatures, great and small, Earth's story is not only written in rocks and rivers, but also in the lives that walk, swim, and fly upon it. Creatures both vast and minute weave the tapestry of biodiversity, each thread vital, each role unique. The blue whale, the largest animal ever to exist, dwarfs even dinosaurs. At more than 100 feet long, it survives by filtering tiny krill, proof that the greatest lives may depend on the smallest. On the opposite scale, tardigrades, smaller than a grain of sand, survive extremes that kill nearly everything else: boiling heat, freezing cold, even the vacuum of space. Together, giants and microscopic survivors reveal nature's astonishing range. Life has adapted to nearly every niche. In caves, eyeless fish navigate in darkness. In deserts, kangaroo rats survive without drinking water, pulling moisture from seeds alone. Deep under the ocean, anglerfish glow with their own light, luring prey into jaws lined with teeth that curve inward like traps. Insects, though often overlooked, are the foundation of ecosystems.
Ants move more soil each year than rivers carry.
Bees pollinate crops that feed billions, while butterflies migrate thousands of miles, painting the skies with delicate wings. Even dung beetles, rolling their spheres of waste, keep environments clean and fertile. Some creatures shape entire landscapes. Beavers dam rivers, creating wetlands that host countless species. Elephants carve paths through forests and spread seeds in their droppings, regenerating ecosystems as they wander. Coral polyps, no bigger than a fingernail, build reefs that stretch for miles, supporting a quarter of all marine life. Animals also teach resilience. The axolotl regenerates lost limbs. Octopuses change color, shape, and texture in an instant. Arctic foxes shift their coats with the seasons, blending with snow in winter and tundra in summer. Adaptation is not rare. It is the essence of survival. Humans, too, are creatures of Earth. We share our DNA with bananas, bacteria, and every bird in the sky. Nearly all life relies on the same molecule, ATP, to carry energy, a universal currency linking every being in silent unity. Life is diverse yet deeply connected. Creatures remind us that Earth is alive not only in its landscapes but also in its inhabitants. From the thunder of migrating herds to the microscopic bustle in a droplet of water, every scale of life speaks of Earth's creativity. To know creatures great and small is to glimpse the endless imagination of evolution. Echoes of deep time beneath the present lies a world of memory. Earth is more than 4.5 billion years old, and much of its past is hidden in fossils, rocks, and the slow rhythm of geologic change. These echoes of deep time reveal a planet that has shifted, collided, and reinvented itself countless times. The oldest rocks found in Canada and Greenland are more than 4 billion years old, nearly as old as the planet itself. Within them lie isotopes hinting at oceans and continents long gone. Fossils tell another story. Trilobites, once rulers of the seas, scuttled across ocean floors 500 million years ago, leaving their imprints in stone. Dinosaurs, enormous and diverse, thrived for 165 million years before vanishing suddenly, their bones now scattered in deserts and cliffs. Mass extinctions mark time like punctuation. The Permian extinction wiped out 90% of marine life, reshaping ecosystems. The impact that ended the age of dinosaurs also paved the way for mammals and eventually humans. Each catastrophe was not only an end, but a beginning, a turning of chapters in Earth's unfolding story. Geology is a record keeper. The Grand Canyon's layers show seas rising and falling, deserts forming and vanishing. The Himalayas contain seashells, reminders that mountains once lay beneath oceans. Even coal beds are echoes of ancient forests compressed into stone by pressure and time. Fossils capture more than bones. In amber, entire insects lie trapped, frozen in golden resin for millions of years. In La Brea's tar pits, dire wolves and mammoths still emerge, their remains testifying to a vanished world. Ice cores in Antarctica hold traces of volcanic eruptions, wildfires, and atmospheric shifts, time capsules frozen in silence. To contemplate deep time is to feel both small and connected. The world we walk upon is not static, but layered with countless lives, each leaving traces. The cliffs, valleys, and stones beneath us are not mere scenery, but chapters written slowly across billions of years. Earth carries its own memory, silent yet enduring. Every fossil, every rock, every grain of sand is an echo of deep time, a reminder that our present is only a fleeting moment in an ancient and continuing story. Islands of wonder, scattered across oceans, are islands, worlds within worlds, each isolated, each unique. Though small in size, islands are laboratories of evolution, where life adapts in surprising and sometimes whimsical ways. The Galapagos Islands, visited by Darwin in the 19th century, are famous for inspiring the theory of natural selection. There, finches evolved beaks of different shapes to suit different diets. Giant tortoises grew to immense sizes, their shells arching like domes of stone. Marine iguanas learned to dive into the sea, grazing on algae like underwater dragons. Hawaii tells another story. Birds called honey creepers diversified into dozens of species, each with its own beak designed for nectar, seeds, or insects. Yet isolation also brings fragility. Many island species are found nowhere else, and the arrival of humans often disrupts these delicate balances. Islands are born in fire and water. Volcanic islands like Iceland rise from the sea as lava cools. Coral atolls form as reefs grow upward, leaving rings around lagoons. Some islands drift with tectonic plates, carrying ecosystems across oceans like rafts. They are also cultural cradles. Polynesians navigated vast distances using stars, waves, and bird flight to find remote islands, creating societies across the Pacific. Myths and stories often paint islands as sacred, places where gods dwell or heroes rest. Even today, islands evoke mystery, isolated yet alluring, fragile yet vibrant. Beyond beauty, islands are crucial to science. They show how life adapts to isolation, how ecosystems collapse or flourish, and how new species emerge. Each island is a microcosm, a stage upon which evolution performs its most creative acts. To walk an island shore is to feel both separation and connection. Waves bring gifts from afar, while unique life thrives only here. In their solitude, islands remind us of Earth itself, A blue world floating alone in cosmic seas, unique, fragile, and alive. Hidden caves and caverns. Beneath Earth's surface lie vast hollow realms, caves and caverns sculpted by water, lava, and time. Some stretch for miles, winding like labyrinths. Others open into vast chambers that echo with ancient silence. The Mammoth Cave system in Kentucky is the longest known, with more than 400 miles of passages mapped, and likely more undiscovered. Inside, stalactites drip from ceilings, while stalagmites rise like stone forests built slowly by minerals in water. These formations grow only a few centimeters every 1,000 years, silent monuments to patience. In Mexico's Nica mine, crystals the size of houses were discovered, glowing white in the dark. Some reached 30 feet long, formed in chambers heated by volcanic activity. Entering such a place feels like stepping into another world, one sculpted not by humans, but by Earth itself. Caves harbor unique life. Blind fish, pale salamanders, and entire ecosystems survive without sunlight, relying on chemical energy instead. Microbes cling to mineral walls, showing that life can thrive even in darkness, hinting at possibilities for life on other planets. Caves are also human archives. Ancient peoples painted walls with animals, symbols, and handprints, leaving messages that endure tens of thousands of years. In Chauvet Cave in France, images of lions and horses still breathe across the stone, frozen stories of long-gone hunts and dreams. Myths often surround caves, from entrances to the underworld to sacred shelters of spirit. To step into one is to step between worlds, light above, shadow below. The air cools, the ground dampens, and silence amplifies every sound. Caves also hold water. Many of the world's great aquifers flow through underground channels, sustaining millions. To protect caves is to protect water, memory, and the fragile life hidden within. In their depths, caves remind us that Earth is not solid, but layered with hollows, secrets, and hidden wonders. They are worlds beneath worlds, carved slowly, waiting quietly for discovery. The restless atmosphere. Above us, unseen but ever present, Earth's atmosphere is a restless ocean of air. It shields, warms, cools, and connects, carrying both storms and whispers across the globe. The atmosphere is layered. The troposphere, where we live, holds weather, clouds, rain, and winds. Above it lies the stratosphere, home to the ozone layer that shields us from harmful ultraviolet light. Higher still, the mesosphere burns meteors into shooting stars, while the thermosphere glows with auroras as solar winds meet Earth's field. Beyond all lies the exosphere, where air fades into space. Air is never still. Jet streams circle the planet at hundreds of miles per hour, steering weather systems. Monsoons bring rains that nourish billions, while hurricanes and typhoons unleash destructive power drawn from warm seas. Yet, even in calm moments, the air carries pollen, spores, seeds, and songs, linking every breath to life. Storms are expressions of energy. Lightning strikes Earth about 8 million times a day, heating air to temperatures hotter than the sun's surface. Tornadoes spin winds at more than 200 miles per hour, sculpting paths of devastation. Yet storms also fertilize soils, balance heat, and renew ecosystems. Air connects us in ways we rarely notice. The oxygen you breathe may have been exhaled by a forest half a world away. Carbon dioxide from a volcanic eruption may drift across oceans before settling in leaves. Each breath ties you to distant lands, unseen forests, and even ancient events. The atmosphere is also fragile. A thin veil, only a few miles thick, sustains every life form on Earth. Pollution, greenhouse gases, and deforestation alter its balance, changing climates, and reshaping ecosystems. Protecting it is not only about survival, but about honoring the delicate shield that makes Earth unique among known worlds. At dawn and dusk, the atmosphere reveals its beauty. Sunlight scatters into reds and oranges, painting skies with fire. Rainbows arc after storms, halos ring the moon, and auroras ripple green and violet. These are not illusions, but signatures of air, bending and coloring light. To look up is to remember that we live not beneath empty space, but within a restless, protective sea of air. Invisible yet essential, it is the breath of Earth itself. The deep ocean, beneath the rolling waves, lies a world darker and stranger than any fantasy. The deep oceans cover more than half the planet, yet remain less explored than the surface of the moon. To descend into them is to journey into mystery. At shallow depths, sunlight filters in, scattering into blues and greens. Coral reefs thrive here, bursting with color and life. Fish flash with iridescence, crabs scuttle across sands, and anemones sway like gardens. But as one sinks deeper, light fades until only darkness remains. In the twilight zone, 200 to 1,000 meters deep, creatures glow with their own light. Bioluminescence is common. Lanternfish, jellyfish, and squid create constellations in the dark. Some lure prey with glowing lures. Others flash to startle predators. It is a world of living stars drifting in black waters. Below lies the midnight zone, where pressure crushes and light never penetrates. Here, strange beings thrive. The anglerfish, with its eerie, glowing bait, waits in silence for victims. Gulper eels open jaws wider than their bodies. Dumbo octopuses flap ear-like fins through still waters. Each adaptation is a marvel of survival in crushing pressure and eternal dark. At the ocean floor, hydrothermal vents spew boiling minerals, creating alien landscapes. Around them, entire ecosystems thrive without sunlight, relying on chemosynthesis, life built from chemical energy, not photosynthesis. Giant tube worms, ghostly white, cluster around vents, their red plumes waving in toxic water. It is proof that life can endure where no light exists. The ocean trenches descend even further. The Mariana Trench, the deepest known, drops nearly 7 miles into Earth. At its bottom, microbes survive in mud under immense pressure. Tiny crustaceans scavenge in the darkness. Even here, life persists. Oceans regulate Earth's climate. They absorb heat, cycle carbon, and produce half the oxygen we breathe. Yet they are changing, warming, acidifying, and losing species. The sea is not endless. It is fragile. To care for it is to care for life itself. To imagine the deep ocean is to imagine an entire world, vast, silent, and alive. It reminds us that most of Earth lies hidden beneath waves, waiting quietly, endlessly, mysterious. The polar extremes at Earth's poles, life endures in cold and silence. These frozen realms seem barren, yet they hold secrets vital to the planet. In the Arctic, the sun vanishes for months, leaving only twilight and stars.
Ice sheets stretch across seas, creaking and groaning with tides.
Beneath them, narwhals glide with spiral tusks, and polar bears roam the edges, hunting on drifting floes. Despite the cold, the Arctic blooms each summer when tundra bursts into color with mosses, flowers, and migrating birds. At the other end lies Antarctica, a continent buried under ice more than a mile thick. Its mountains rise through glaciers, and its winds howl stronger than hurricanes. Yet life thrives. Penguins huddle for warmth, seals rest on icy shores, and krill swarm in waters, feeding whales and seabirds alike. Beneath the ice, hidden lakes remain liquid. sealed for millions of years, holding microbes untouched by time. The poles regulate Earth's climate. Ice reflects sunlight, cooling the planet. Glaciers store vast amounts of fresh water, slowly releasing it into seas. As they melt, oceans rise, reshaping coasts far away. The balance of the poles is tied to every life across the globe. Polar lights paint the skies with shifting colors. Auroras dance in green, violet, and red, created by solar winds striking Earth's magnetic field. To stand beneath them is to feel the universe brush against the world, a silent reminder of cosmic connection. Though remote, the poles matter to all of us. They are mirrors of change, showing the impact of warming climates. Protecting them is protecting balance, not only for penguins and polar bears, but for every living being tied to the rhythms of Earth. Rivers, lakes, and hidden waters water does not only rest in oceans and ice. It flows, gathers, and hides in countless forms, shaping the land and nourishing life. Rivers are Earth's veins. The Nile, Amazon, and Yangtze stretch for thousands of miles, carving valleys and feeding civilizations. They carry nutrients, shape landscapes, and provide routes for countless species. Some rivers vanish underground, flowing unseen through caves, while others split into deltas, fractals of water reaching into seas. Lakes are mirrors of the sky. Lake Baikal in Siberia is the deepest and oldest, holding 1/5 of Earth's unfrozen freshwater. Its waters host species found nowhere else. In Africa, the Great Lakes shimmer with storms and life, their shores rich with fish and birds. Even tiny alpine lakes, clear and cold, reflect mountains like glass. Hidden waters lie beneath the surface. Aquifers stretch for miles, storing water in porous rock. Some are ancient, filled thousands of years ago. Others recharge with each rain. In deserts, oases reveal the presence of underground rivers, life blossoming around secret sources. Water connects life. Salmon swim upstream to spawn, feeding forests with their bodies when they die. Beavers create ponds that host amphibians and birds. Even mosquitoes, often cursed, begin life in puddles, becoming food for fish and bats. Every drop flows through countless lives before returning to the sea. Rivers and lakes also carry memory. Civilizations rose along their banks, Egypt on the Nile, Mesopotamia on the Tigris, and Euphrates, India on the Ganges. To this day, they are sacred cultural lifelines as much as physical ones. Though water seems endless, it is fragile. Pollution, dams, and climate change alter its cycles. Lakes shrink, rivers dry, aquifers empty. To lose them is to lose stories, homes, and life itself. To follow a river is to follow the pulse of Earth. To sit by a lake is to feel the stillness of time. To drink from a spring is to touch hidden waters, flowing quietly beneath the surface, sustaining us all. Mountains and valleys, Earth's surface rises and falls in endless shapes, carved by pressure, erosion, and time. Mountains and valleys are records of these movements, holding both beauty and history. The Himalayas, born from the collision of India and Asia, rise higher each year. Mount Everest pierces the sky at nearly 30,000 feet, yet even here, life clings. Mosses, birds, and hardy insects endure the thin air. The Andes stretch along South America, home to ancient cultures and volcanoes that reshape the land with fire. The Rockies, Alps, and countless ranges each tell stories of uplift and erosion. Mountains are water towers. They catch clouds, store snow, and release rivers. Half of humanity depends on mountain waters for survival. Glaciers, frozen reservoirs, feed streams that sustain cities and crops far below. Valleys hold different wonders. The Grand Canyon reveals layers of Earth's history, painted in reds and golds. Africa's Great Rift Valley shows continents slowly pulling apart, birthing lakes and volcanoes. Even small valleys cradle fertile soils, homes for villages and forests. Life adapts to height and depth. Mountain goats balance on cliffs. Snow leopards stalk silently across ridges. In valleys, wetlands host cranes and crocodiles. Fields grow rice and wheat, and villages thrive. Mountains inspire myths, seen as homes of gods, symbols of endurance.
Valleys evoke abundance, places of shelter and fertility.
Together they form a rhythm of highs and lows, a balance carved by forces larger than ourselves. To climb a mountain is to touch the sky. To walk a valley is to feel Earth's embrace. Both remind us that the planet is sculpted in contrasts, each peak and hollow a chapter in its story. Though invisible, Earth is protected by a shield of force. The magnetic field, generated by molten iron moving in the planet's core, it extends far into space, guarding us from solar winds and cosmic radiation. Without it, Earth would be stripped of atmosphere like Mars, barren and exposed. Instead, charged particles are deflected, creating auroras where they meet the atmosphere. These shimmering curtains of green and red are not just beauty, but signs of protection, the shield made visible. The field shifts constantly. Magnetic poles wander and sometimes even flip, north becoming south. Fossils and rocks record these reversals, showing they have happened many times in Earth's past. Animals sense this field. Migrating birds navigate with it, sea turtles find shores by it, and even bacteria align to its pull. The field is not only planetary armor, but a map written in force lines across the world. Though powerful, the shield is not eternal. Scientists monitor its changes, watching for signs of weakness. Yet for billions of years it has guarded life, holding back storms of radiation and allowing Earth to flourish. To think of the magnetic field is to think of an unseen guardian, vast and silent. It is the reason skies glow with auroras, compasses point north,
and life endures under a gentle dome of protection. As our journey across Earth draws to a close,
it is time to set aside the discoveries, the facts, and the endless curiosities of this living planet. For tonight, Earth has given us more than enough to carry into our dreams. We have wandered through oceans that breathe life, forests that whisper in countless voices, and skies that protect us with layers of unseen strength. Now imagine the ground beneath you, steady and unhurried. Beneath its surface, roots stretch in silence, rivers carve paths unseen, and ancient rocks hold stories of time far older than our own. The planet does not sleep, yet it cradles you as if it knows you must. The air around you carries the same molecules that once drifted over mountains, deserts, and seas. Each breath ties you to this world, a quiet exchange between your body and the atmosphere that has sheltered life for billions of years. Even in the stillness of night, this exchange continues, soft and unnoticed, like a lullaby sung by the planet itself. Think of the oceans, vast and unbroken. Their tides rise and fall with a rhythm older than human memory, a rhythm that has shaped coastlines, nurtured life, and whispered secrets into every corner of the world. Tonight, that same rhythm can guide you, a slow, steady pulse that asks for nothing but your surrender to rest. Above, unseen by your eyes but always present, Earth's magnetic shield stretches outward. It is a silent guardian turning away the storms of space. Without its protection, our nights would not be so calm, our skies not so clear. Even as you close your eyes, this shield keeps its watch, ensuring the serenity of your slumber. And so you are safe. Safe in the arms of Earth, a planet alive with motion, yet quiet enough to let you drift. Safe in the knowledge that you are part of something vast, something enduring, something endlessly giving. Let go now. Let the details fade. There is no need to remember each fact, each image, each sound. Let them slip away like sand through your fingers. What remains is the feeling of connection, of belonging, of being carried by a world that has always held you. As you surrender to sleep, picture yourself as part of the planet's endless cycle, a leaf resting on water, a stone warmed by the sun, a drop of rain sliding gently into the soil. You are not separate. You are not alone. You are Earth, and Earth is you, so breathe. Close your eyes. Allow your thoughts to circle like stars, slowly, quietly, until they fade beyond the horizon. The night holds you now, and Earth will still be here when you wake. Good night. May your dreams be calm, your rest deep, and your heart as steady as the planet that carries you.